Hi, I'm Paul. I'm 54 years old, and I'm a caregiver for my mother who has Alzheimer's. I've been doing this for about 8 years, give or take, and I wanted to start this channel so I could share my experiences with all of you and what it's like to be a caregiver for a parent who has Alzheimer's, dementia, or anything of that sort. Some of you may already know what it's like. Others might just be saying, not sure what that's like. Well, um, I'm here to say that it's very challenging. It's overwhelming. It's exhausting. It's lonely. It's heartbreaking. But there are a lot of funny moments too. At least I find a lot of humor in everyday situations because I think for me that's the best way to get through every day. Because whether it's Monday, Saturday, Tuesday, most days are very similar, even though they can be very different. Um, I am with my mother 24 hours a day. Um, and I even sleep in the same bedroom that she does. So if she gets up in the middle of the night and is scared or confused, I'm right there to help her. But I thought I'd share a funny story that kind of also is sad, but it kind of encapsulates, sorry, I'm tired. It encapsulates life as a caregiver. Um, a couple weeks ago, my brother stopped by. He doesn't come very often. Um, he just doesn't have the time in his life to do so. He has 9 children. I know. So I understand. Um, but he came in, and my mother was sitting on the couch next to me, and he walked in very smiley and said, "Hi, Mom, how are you?" And she kind of gazed at him for a minute, kind of hesitantly and a little bit nervously, and said, "Hi." And he sat down, and they had, a nice, pleasant conversation for quite a while. And I was sitting off on the other side of the room, kind of just observing. I could tell that my mother had no idea who she was talking to, but she was trying to fake it, I think, or whether she meant to be or she just was. Um, but they had a pleasant conversation. They talked for, oh gosh, quite a while. Um, and after he left, he came up to her again and said, "Bye, Mom. Nice to see you." And she kind of said, "Bye." And I walked him to the door and we talked a little bit about my mom, and then he left. And I went and sat back down next to her, and she said, "Who was that man?" And I said, "Oh, he's just a nice guy that, wanted to stop by and visit with you." She said, "He seems like he wants to be a part of the family, or he is a part of the family, but we don't need any more strangers or substitutes, family members around here. There's already too many people coming and going all day long. There's nobody coming all day long. It's me and her." um, but I wanted to laugh out loud, but at the same time, I kind of wanted to cry because it was sad that she sat there for so long and had no idea that was my brother. Um, but I thought it was pretty funny that she kind of said, "We don't need any substitutes," and he thinks he wants to be, a part of this family. Like she was totally scoffing at it. Um, but it kind of shows that in 1 minute, if you have Alzheimer's, you can kind of sit there and have a conversation. 5 minutes later, you have no idea that you had the conversation, nor do you know who the person was, even if you did remember him at the time, although in her case, she didn't. Um, she has a lot of funny moments where her wit and her personality kind of flash by for like maybe 5 minutes, maybe less, maybe a little more. But that happens every day with when you take care of someone with Alzheimer's. You kind of ride that wave. You have to understand that their reality is real to them, so you just kind of have to join their reality. If you try to tell them that they're wrong or that they're confused they get very upset, and that throws them all off. So the best thing to do is just kind of go along with them and say yes, smile, nod your head, and never tell them that they're wrong, because that's setting you up for trouble. But I'm sure if any of you out there who are caregivers, you'll totally understand what I'm talking about. It can be a challenge, for sure. Recently I was washing my mom's hair, which I do every week. And we finished washing it and drying it, and I got her washed up and dressed and brought her out to her chair where she sits every day. And I said, "Oh, Mom, you just had your hair washed. It looks great." And she looked at me in all seriousness and said, "Well, thank you. The lady that takes care of my hair, she does a nice job." and, and I thought, I'm the lady that takes care of your hair, but okay. And I just kind of said, "Oh, good. I'm glad that she does a nice job because your hair looks great." A little of me wanted to cry. A lot of me wanted to laugh. And at the same time, I was confused. And it was a heartbreaking kind of thing at the same time. To see her slowly fading away every day is pretty hard to take. But I do it because I want her to be in her home, comfortable and happy and well cared for. And perhaps I'm a control freak. I don't know, that might be for another video. But if you kind of like what I'm presenting here and you're interested, you can always subscribe and follow the journey. If you have any comments or even any questions, you can always leave those, and we'll talk about them next week. Thanks for joining. Bye.